When the lights go down, when the world gets quiet, and the questions you've been afraid to ask finally come to the surface. There's a place where the strange, the unexplained, the controversial, and the downright fascinating come together. This is Late Night in the Midlands. From the heart of the Midlands, South Carolina, your host, Mike Vara, takes you beyond the headlines and into the stories they don't always want you to hear. Paranormal encounters, conspiracy and cover-ups, UFOs and unexplained mysteries, true stories, strange experiences, and conversations that will make you question everything you thought you knew. No scripts, no limits, just real people, real stories, and one hell of a late-night conversation. So turn down the lights, turn up the volume, and get ready to step outside the ordinary. This is Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara on the Vara Network.
Good evening, good morning, wherever you may be around the globe, in the chat room, on another planet, or on the other side. This is Late Night in the Midlands. I'm Mike Vara, and I welcome all of you wherever it is you may be. This broadcast is coming at you live from the capital city, Columbia, South Carolina, located on the east coast of these United States. Tonight on Late Night in the Midlands, we're heading deep into a mystery that has fascinated people for generations. What if Bigfoot isn't a myth? What if Sasquatch is real? And, what if this elusive creature shares something far more profound with us than, we even imagined? We're going to talk about that and more. By the way, the website is mikevara.com. Go on over, become a late nighter, be informed, and by all means inform others. Hit that like button and the subscribe button on YouTube and on Rumble. Don't forget we're on TalkStream Live, the Paranormal Radio app, the alternative media radio app. And, Bigfoot. So my guest tonight is author Betsey Lewis, whose new book, Sasquatch Lives, Proof That Bigfoot and Humans Share the Same DNA, takes us into a world of ancient stories, eyewitness encounters, controversial scientific evidence, and, famous Patterson film, and claims that Sasquatch may possess abilities that challenge everything we think we know about the natural world. Betsey argues that evidence from hair and blood samples points towards human DNA combined with an unknown genetic marker, and she believes that confirming Sasquatch could have enormous consequences for science, evolution, religion, and even the future of our forest. But these are some very big questions tonight. What exactly is the evidence? And can DNA really prove the existence of Sasquatch? And was the creature captured on film in 1967? And if Sasquatch really is out there, why haven't we found a body? We're also going to explore some of the more extraordinary claims surrounding Sasquatch, including telepathy, cloaking, teleportation, the possibility that these things may be much more closely connected to humanity than we actually realize. So if Sasquatch is Sasquatch simply an undiscovered animal, or could there be something much, much bigger going on here? Betsey Lewis is here tonight to tell us what she has discovered and what she believes, and, well, why she says Sasquatch isn't what we've been led to believe. Their family. Betsey will be with us in just a few minutes, and we'll get right into it. So with that, I got just a very little bit of news and discovery to hit you with on this Monday night, and then we're going to go into the break, come back, and have our guest. Betsey's going to be with us for about an hour tonight. And so, anyways, let's get this thing on the road. So inside the global humanoid robot competition in China, you've seen that? Wow. So China's got this world humanoid robots games that it's doing. And I mean, you can see the robots doing karate kicks, running up and down stairs, doing all kinds of stuff that, humans can do, and some of them doing things even better than humans. We're coming a long way with these things, man. So, yeah, in Beijing, humanoid robots are being put to the test at the World Humanoid Robots Games, with some robots already beating world records set by humans. Well, of course they're gonna. They're robots. They don't tire. They just keep going. So, interesting stuff. I'll tell you, within the next 10 years, it's going to be amazing to see where we are with these robots, these robot people. Our days are getting shorter, and something strange is happening to Earth. The Earth is spinning faster than at any point in the last 55 years, they say, making our days shorter than scientists expected. Every day is like a new story coming out about this. I mean, it's same thing. The Earth is spinning, yes. It's speeding up, and they say from earthquakes and melting ice caps to the moon's gravitational pull, there's surprising reasons behind one of the strangest changes ever recorded on our planet. And they say, could this tiny shift eventually affect the way the world keeps time? Yeah, probably. Probably a lot of other things. Remember, we were supposed to float away not too long ago, and we're going to have 7 seconds of, no gravity or something. We're going to all just fly up in the sky and then drop back down violently. Thankfully, that did not happen. I'm thankful. I'm sure you are too. Again, folks, we are at, the 24th. So tomorrow, a big day here, because if we don't get that website taken care of, paid for, then, it's not going to be there. So hopefully you can hit that donate button, help us out, because without you, there is no us. And there's so much. Can't always keep up with it all. Need help, and appreciate any help we get. All right. So, that's right too. You can watch on YouTube or Rumble. We're on both of those. So have at it. We got chat rooms in Rumble, chat room in YouTube, and then there's our Discord chat as well, which you can get to all that right from the website. It's all there. All right. So tell you what, I want to take a break, and when I come back, I will have my guest, Betsey Lewis. Not going to be video tonight. She will be coming to us by phone call. All right. So hang on with us for a moment. This is Late Night in the Midlands. I'm Mike Vara, and we will be right back. Folks, don't go away. It is Monday night. I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. Right here, right now. We'll be right back.
Pack your questions and your curiosity.
Leave your worries at the door.
We're traveling beyond reality,
To places we've never been before.
from ancient mysteries.
To lights in the sky.
The truth is waiting.
If you only try. Take a ride through the night. Take a ride through the stars. Every mystery's closer than it really appears.
Oh,
Take a ride through the night. Come wherever you are. Late night in the Midlands with Mike Vara.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Here at Late Night in the Midlands, we believe in truth, awareness, and taking care of our minds and bodies. That's why I'm proud to share Mike Varas's long-standing friendship and partnership with Dr. Leonard Horowitz and his Healthy World store. Dr. Horowitz and Mike go way back. They've supported each other through the years because they share the same mission, bringing people the truth and helping them live healthier, stronger lives. His products are crafted with your health in mind, using the highest quality natural ingredients that you can feel good about putting into your body. When you shop at the Healthy World store, you're not just making a choice for your health, you're also supporting Late Night in the Midlands and the VAR network. Every purchase helps us keep the truth on the air and the conversation alive. So do something good for yourself and for independent media. Visit the Healthy World store today, and let's keep both your body and the truth strong. HealthyWorldStore.com, health for you, support for us. Just click on the Healthy World store banner on the homepage of our website, MikeVara.com.
I'm Art Bell, and you're listening to Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara.
Every second counts, so why not make it count in style? The Late Night in the Midlands wall clock isn't just for telling time, it's a statement piece that shows the world you support alternative media. With a sturdy wooden frame, sleek plexiglass face, and a silent mechanism, it's perfect for any room. From your home office to your favorite hangout spot. Easy to hang with a pre-installed hook and built to last, this clock blends practicality with personality. Time waits for no one. Grab yours today at MikeVara.com and make every second a part of the movement. Late Night in the Midlands. Time well spent.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
You're listening to the VARA Network. the capital city, Columbia, South Carolina, on the east coast of these United States. You're tuned in to Late Night in the Midlands with your host, Mike Vara. To ask a question to Mike, just send your questions through the Late Night portal located on our homepage at www.mikevara.com.
This is Late Night in the Midlands. It is Monday night, and we're coming at you live from the VARA Radio Network. As I always say, get your favorite beverage, put your feet up, and relax, because you're about to hear an interesting conversation about, well, Bigfoot. Yeah, you know, that guy with the big feet, the hairy man from the woods. All right, let's get to it here. I'll tell you, well, I've already told you a bit about my guest, and so I'm going to bring her on with us here, and we'll take it further. All right, so I'm gonna gotta get situated here. Let's see. All right, I don't know why that's. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I don't know why that's still rolling. All right, I gotta get her on the line here. Not video, so I gotta switch that. And here we go. I think. Good evening, Betsey. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing just fine. It's a pleasure to have you back. It's been a while.
Well, thank you. It has been ages, many moons.
Yes, ma'am. So, well, listen, thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you about your new book. And, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Mike.
All right. So we are live and ready to go here. So I'll get right at it. So what was the moment you'd say in your life when you first became convinced that Sasquatch was real?
Okay. Well, I've always believed in them, since people started talking about them. But I think what really interested me was the Expedition Bigfoot TV series. There were 6 seasons to it. And they really brought out a lot about the paranormal and supernatural abilities of Sasquatch. And that really, it got my attention. And I started thinking, I think I've had a couple of encounters with the big guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So why did you decide that now was the time to write Sasquatch Lives? What got you motivated there?
Well, there's stories about Sasquatch being connected to extraterrestrials, and I've written many books about different extraterrestrials and portals, and they're known to go into portals. And I thought, I've got to write about this. I've got to really investigate all these different things. And I've watched so many different, YouTube videos, everything that I could watch, even on Prime TV and other places, different documentaries. So I think I've really read, and I've had a lot of people contact me, which I put some of those experiences in my book. And they're fascinating. I mean, American Indians they have legends about them that go back hundreds of years. So there's something to it. And I checked, just about every state in the United States has had Sasquatch experiences. They're known by many, many names. They're known by Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Just about every country except Hawaii. And I even got somebody from New Zealand that told me about their experience. So they exist. They're called different names, but
Yeah, I think I've even heard the name skunk ape used.
yeah, skunk ape, right, yeah.
So, when you say Sasquatch and humans share the same DNA, exactly what does that mean scientifically?
Well, in Expedition Bigfoot on the Discovery Channel, they ended up getting some blood samples that they had heard two Sasquatches fighting in the forest. I think this was in Northern California. And they ended up getting the blood and also from hair samples that they found out. And they did, DNA tests on it, genetically DNA tests. And the mitochondrial side of the female side went back 15 to 18,000 years ago in the Mideast, the female side. And then the male side, there is no known creature that they can find in their data centers that match it. So they have no idea. But it keeps coming back that there is a human side to it. And the way people have described it, which is really interesting, they keep saying that it has a human face.
Yeah, I've heard
So
that.
I believe they are related to us.
Think
And they
it-
might be our missing link too.
Well, that missing link is a funny one. It's I think it's I don't think it's missing. I think you be more proper to call it the hidden link.
Right. We found the missing link. Yeah, I think so. There's been so many starts and stops to human DNA, and I think we were genetically engineered, bioengineered by extraterrestrials, and I think that Sasquatch was too. So both of us have been genetically engineered because we evolved much too quick to have arrived where we are today. It would have been impossible. It takes millions and millions of years to evolve, and something had to have changed us. Why aren't monkeys still evolving? Why aren't gorillas still evolving?
Yeah, especially they say we came from the monkey. It never made sense to me. Well, why is the monkey still so primitive and here we are? Why did we keep going and it didn't? So now you mentioned an unknown genetic marker. What exactly is that marker, and who's actually been examining it?
Yeah, they don't know about that on the male side of Sasquatch. They don't know what that unknown marker is. So who knows? Some say it's, another something that goes back millions of years ago to maybe some other great ape that lived. I think it was called Giant Piscus or something like that. And there were other ones, but there are many theories about it. We just don't know.
See,
Until we capture one.
I used to, have a hypothesis of maybe possibly these being some kind of weird experiment from our military, but it goes back so far with the Native American stories and stuff, so that kind of rules that out, don't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think it goes way back. I think they go back to Atlantis, even to Mute, too. I think they go that far back.
Yeah, that's
I
possible.
think Atlantis existed. And, I think they are. And I think they're very intelligent. I mean, there are so many things that they can do that just blew my mind.
Yeah, I think Star Wars nailed it with the Wookiee,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where they got the Wookiee. You're right. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he really is. He's a Bigfoot.
So you believe in Sasquatch?
Yeah, you know what? I believe in a lot more today than I used to when I first started this show. I think there's definitely got to be something to it. I can't imagine everybody's crazy. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like the
Now,
UFO phenomena.
right. You live in South Carolina?
Yes, I do.
You do. Well, North Carolina, I know, has a lot of activity up there. That's a hot spot. And also for orbs. And you probably have a lot of orb and Sasquatch encounters too.
I've had my share of sightings, UFO sightings, since I've come to South
Have you?
Carolina. Oh yeah, it's really, I think, has been a hot spot for that. I've had now Bigfoot. I've not run into Bigfoot yet, but then it's so hot I don't spend a lot of time in the woods either. So
Oh,
yeah.
do you have a lot of wooded areas near you?
Oh yeah,
More
there's
than-
a lot of woods over here. Yeah. Yeah, and military bases too. So you never know. Bigfoot could be on some of these bases working right along the military. People think they're
Well,
just
that's
some.
what I wonder.
Yeah.
There are stories that the military has captured them. They want their cloaking ability and their mimicry. They can mimic anything, even human language, which is mind-blowing, but they've been known to mimic so many different animals and creatures. Babies crying, birds whistle.
Really? They could.
Yeah, amazing thing.
Oh wow! Boy, see now a talent like that kind of that reminds me of the Native Americans. You know how they would make the sound of different animals. When they'd hunt and things. Yeah. So
Right.
let's talk about the 1967 Patterson film. Why are you convinced that Patty was a real Sasquatch? And I'm going to tell you, if I was going to point to something that I thought was like real as far as footage goes, I'd go with that.
Did you watch that footage that
Oh
I sent
yeah.
you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, most people think it's somebody in a monkey suit, but I've watched it I don't know how many times, and I know it isn't. It's real, and there's so many reasons I found out. Back then in the '60s, we didn't have synthetic materials like we do now. The stretch and everything to materials. So they had to use fake fur. They tried, I guess, making gorilla suits out of real hide and everything. It would get too hot. But the thing is, they had to put zippers in them to make a Sasquatch head or even a gorilla head would not fit on a normal human head. They would have to modify it. But when you see this creature, which they call Patty, they think it's a female, walking on that riverbed, that dry riverbed, she's taking 4-foot strides. Now, humans can't do that naturally. You can see the muscles on her, just the way she walks. It's incredible. But
and I don't want to get weird here, but also the breast.
yes, oh yes. Well, that's a lot of things that say, because she has a hairy chest, that couldn't be a female. But we don't know anything about Sasquatch. Why not?
Hey, there's
we
female
don't-
dogs with hairy chests,
Yeah, true. You just don't know. And another thing, the guy that claims to have done it, Bob Hieronymus, I think it's pronounced Hieronymus or something like that, he's 83 years old, and he claimed that he was the one in the monkey suit. And it shows him next to it, this horrible costume. It's reddish, and it looks so fake. It doesn't look anything like you see in that video, that film, that 1967 film that was taken out there in Northern California. And another thing, Bob was only 6'1", and I don't think he's grown anymore. And on Expedition Bigfoot, they determined that Patty, using LiDAR detection and mapping technologies, they figured out that she was 6'3". So how Bob ended up getting much taller, at least 6'3", and males are much taller than females.
Well,
but also, what's really, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I had seen a piece that was done on this on TV one day, and they were talking about the Patterson film, and they were talking to some of Hollywood's best. They make the costumes and all that stuff, and the guy there says that at that time, back then, he says with the material they had available, he says there's absolutely no way he could have made a costume like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what's so strange, But people, I was listening to Joe Rogan talk to David Paulides, and he said, I watched that, and it's a fact. It's a fact. These people just look at it once and say, it has to be a man in a monkey suit, They don't take the time to even explore anything or investigate. And that really gets me. It really does.
Oh, yeah. It basically goes by what they think. They don't want to believe it's real, so everything is just not good enough evidence-wise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and then when you see the muscles moving and all that stuff, I agree that that's one of the most convincing. Matter of fact, I remember talking with a guy about that Patterson film probably the first year I did this show, and then at that point I hadn't seen it before then, and it was just amazing. I don't know. It seems amazing to me. So people could debate it all they want. People are seeing something. I don't think everyone, some of it's misidentification, sure, and some of it, and then you probably got about 5% of it that's people just making stuff up, but then there's a large percent of it that's real. I'm convinced.
Well, what's really interesting, AI algorithm looked at I guess it's called Grok A. They brought in to analyze the footage.
Yeah.
Of the Patterson Gimlin film, and this is what it says. The Sasquatch in the 1967 film shows fluidity and walking on an uneven ground. Its weight would have been over 200 kilograms, allowing gravity to pull it down. Its knees remained in continuously flexed state throughout the film, never fully locking like a human locomotion. At the same time, the foot makes contact with the ground in a flat orientation, absorbing the full body weight without causing a shock wave upward through the spine. The trajectory of the head traces a straight line to the ground rather than the physical oscillation seen in human walking. The peak of this anomaly appears in the well-known frame 352, the moment the figure turns to look back at the camera. The rotation does not occur at the neck. The enigmatic data suggests a motion beginning at the hips, which then drives the rotation of the entire torso and massive shoulder structure, bringing the face into view. This reflects a natural mechanical response of a body lacking a flexible cervical spine. And so it just goes on to tell more that, it's impossible that it's a human. So even AI can analyze it and say, with gravity and everything else, this is a real creature. This is a flesh and blood creature.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about AI is, if you have any doubt, AI will will fix it. I mean, I think AI is going to do so much as far as curing disease. And, while there's a lot of things out there that are made through AI and it's hard to tell what's real and what's not, that is a good way to analyze it. And, I've heard from a lot of the experts, and a lot of them say that at that time it just would have been impossible, they say, to duplicate that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got muscle movement. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you see the muscles?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, who's making a suit back then that's doing all that?
No, I know. I've seen, like you said, so many of these people that have worked for Hollywood and made those things back in the '60s, or do it now and know what was made and what was available back then. So there's nothing faked about it. And people have, I don't know. There's so many different versions of the original film. People have taken it so many times and tried to enhance it and do different things to it. I was watching one, they added music to it and sound effects, and there was no sound to it. It was a silent movie, just silent film. It's just ridiculous what people have done.
Well, it is, and it's just like for years you'd have videos of UFOs and things, and everyone, oh, that's not real. Oh, it's this, it's that. It's it's just got to be. With some people, their belief system, they're stuck in it, and then there's others who are willing to go outside the box and believe what they see.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that, there's the naysayers, and they've never had any experiences, so they really don't know. But I dare somebody to go to a hot spot, spend a week camping out, and I will guarantee you'll get rocks thrown at you. But they always miss. They always miss, which is amazing. They've got a great aim, and they do all kinds of things, shaking trees. I mean, they bring down trees all the time. They have some kind of symbiotic relationship with trees. They love trees, but they knock them down a lot.
Yeah, and I'm guessing if it wants to hit you, it's going to hit you with something. So if it's missing you with rocks, it's because it wants to miss you, most likely.
Right. Well, there's a man that I'm in contact on Facebook. His name is Rick Stuart Tyler. Sorry about that. But he has so many experiences. It's just amazing. And he was telling me that he was with some friends, and they actually had something happen where a rock was thrown, and they told it that it missed them. It didn't hit anybody. But then somebody said something out loud, throw it over here, and it did. It threw it, where was it? Understood. So, they're intelligent. They're just amazing. I mean, they make us look dumb. I think we are. We think we're so smart. We think they're the smartest creatures on this planet, but we're not.
I'll tell you, whales are, I always say, if you gave whales legs and arms, and that goes for dolphins too, we might have we might have our work cut out for us, because the whales are pretty smart. They communicate with each other, and lately they've been taking boats down out in the water because they fed up with whatever's going on. I don't know, take your pick at the many things they might be fed up with, but there's been a lot of orcas going after the boats and crashing into them and knocking them. Yeah. So
and how about squid? Squid are very intelligent. We find out now.
Oh yeah, I know. And just imagine what they could do if they had the right, if they had the right tools. We might not be the smartest one. Well, so we think, on the planet.
Right.
So
I don't think we are.
No, I don't either. I think it's just we're intelligent, but I don't know. I don't see anything else on the planet making things to destroy itself. Only humans do that, I think.
Yeah.
So your book also discusses encounters outside North America. So what happened in the New Zealand encounter that you described? Because that was pretty interesting.
They didn't see anything, but they heard things, and maybe I think they saw a glimpse of it, but they didn't actually see it. But things were thrown, like a rock and things. So, but that bird, I don't even remember what it's called down there, but it's still there. I think one of the most interesting encounters was a woman that went to see Ronnie LeBlanc at one of his conferences. He was one of the people that did investigation on the Expedition Bigfoot series. and he was on there for 4 series. But she went to see him because she had this obsession. Both she and her husband had an obsession with Bigfoot, even though she was very religious. And her religion told her that anything that's outside of God is devil's work. But anyway, she went to him and she told him about her story, that they moved to Lake Cumberland, Connecticut, to one-bedroom house by a lake. And she said one night she was on the balcony and she heard this grunting, and it got louder and louder, and it scared her so bad she went in and locked all the doors. Her husband was away. And then there was another time that she thought it was bears, and she heard screams in the trees. She heard it sounded like a goose being choked to death,
Oh my God.
and then growling. I mean, it was just horrible. She was scared to death. But one time, well, she said she did see kind of a cone-shaped head, but that was it. But the next time, she was driving home alone, and she saw something in her driveway, and she thought, it looks kind of reddish. Maybe it's something from fall or something. Her brain just wasn't, connecting to Sasquatch. And she gets there, and there is this huge Sasquatch, at least 7 feet tall, staring at her. And he's kind of like in awe of her, and she's in awe of him. And what's really interesting is that he just didn't move, but she said he had beautiful auburn red hair, looks like it was well groomed, it shined in the sunlight. She said he had round eyes, deep set, and they were clear blue-green, which is really interesting. She said the nose was pugged, the nostrils flared, and she said the skin and the hands were hairless, but the face was kind of a soft gray color, and it looked very human-like. It had broad shoulders like a football player and long hair under the arms, and she said that when it continued to lock his eyes on her, it would sway its arms back and forth. And she said there were these tiny bugs that were like flying up from the ground around it, which is really weird. I don't know if that was she was seeing like the orbs or what she was seeing, but she said they moved away from there, so she's never seen it since, and she doesn't like to talk about it now.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised she came forward, being such a religious woman, that she would find somebody to ask about it. And she was so obsessed. She kept saying she wanted to see one all the time. So be careful what you ask for. You might get it.
Yeah, right. And at this time we got military coming out talking about the UFOs, the Tic Tac UFOs, and all these things. Now, if only we could get some of these military people to come out, maybe, and talk a little bit, because they're out there a lot doing exercises and God knows what. I'm sure they've had sightings if they're out there. And one of the biggest questions that the skeptics are going to ask is, well, if Sasquatch is real, where's the body? So, it's a good question, where's the body? But then, ET bodies too. I heard we have some, but where are they? They're...
Yeah, well, one of my theories is they go through portals. They're Stargate portals, dimensional portals. And they've been seen to go into these portals. I mean, like this shimmering thing will open up in front of them, and people have seen them walk right through and vanish. And, I think they're all over. But also, there's another theory that people have had, that there are volcanic caverns, tubes, lava tubes up from California all the way up to Washington. And they think that they actually live in them and can disappear in them. And even though a skunk cave that vanishes in swamps, they think also goes into caverns. They love to swim. They're great swimmers. People have seen them swim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are. I mean, if you've survived that long, and, the stories go way back, Native American and so on. If you've survived that long, you've had to have, you got to be able to deal with the elements, and that includes swimming.
Right.
And they're so elusive. I mean, I've had people on they've seen them, they've gone to follow into the woods, and they're gone. As soon as they go into the woods, they just disappear. I don't know if they blend in, I don't know, blend in with the background of wherever they are, or if they just hit that portal and go somewhere else. Yeah, they're doing something.
This is some of the things they can do. They seem to blend in things. They like to peek around trees, but they can mind speak. People say that they get really dizzy and nauseated, and they get horrible headaches around them. Of course, they have this stench, kind of like a skunk when they want to get rid of. But people think they use infrasound, that's below 20 hertz.
Yeah.
So that would cause, people to get sick and headaches and everything. And humans can't do that. They can shapeshift. They can astral project, people think. They can telepathy, dematerialization, teleportation. They can permeate human conscious. People claim that they've gone into forests and they go out of their way to go to a different area, and they have no reason why they would do that or get lost suddenly. And maybe that's why so many people are missing in national forests, that Bigfoot makes them get lost. I don't know if they've harmed anybody, certain ones don't, but I think they're just like us. They're the bad ones, and there's some good ones too.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And and if they do have this portal that they travel through, and that would tell me. I mean, now we're talking technology. I mean, and some of the things that people claim it can do, I mean, it would make it more than just a forest animal for sure, because I don't know, I don't see bears jumping through portals, and and that's another good thing too. How many times have you been in the woods? Have you ever found a bear's body?
No, they don't work either. They can't do whistling sounds and all kinds of mimic everything in the forest, and no, not yet. But they can't open doors to get in and steal people's food.
Yeah. So they like to eat, huh?
They do.
Yeah. So do you believe at this time that there's enough evidence to justify some serious scientific investigation on these things? And is there any serious scientific investigations going on? I imagine there's got to be.
Yes, I think so. With Expedition Bigfoot, they saw unmarked helicopters when they were working. They kept flying over them. There's stories that the military has caught them. There's a story that when Mount St. Helens erupted, that I guess there was one that was badly injured and taken by the military. Somebody called in and they were trying to save it, and the military came and picked it up like they do, and that was the end. It just vanished, So who knows what they're doing? I think they know a lot more than they say, and I think that's why they don't want us knowing. That if they're discovered and found to be true, just think of how it would change religion, how we view evolution. It would stop logging in areas. Certain areas would be, cordoned off for these creatures because they're maybe, designated as maybe a creature that, needs to be protected. I think they do. I think they can protect themselves, but I think they do die.
Yeah, well, yeah, they must. And, it's kind of something I always wondered about the ETs. People say the military has bodies. I think, why, with all their technology and what they could do, why wouldn't they come back and suck up the body rather than leave us with evidence that they're there, unless they want us to know, which could be.
I agree.
Yeah, so now you also address stories that the U.S. military may have an interest in Sasquatch. Where did some of these stories originate?
Well, they were in Well, they were in several places. They went to Alaska, they went to Oregon, Washington State, and Northern California. But where they had the military watching them was in Northern California, and seeing the helicopters flying over. So what are they up to? You know, it's kind of like Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if you've ever watched that series.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
going on at Skinwalker Ranch? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My yeah, huh? Go ahead.
No, I think they know a lot more than they'll tell us. You know, even about ETs, they know they exist, and they've had them. I think there's, I don't know how many species are here, but there's quite a few.
Now,
reptilians and all.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like the truth is slowly, coming out about the whole ET thing. I think that for me, I mean, I already have the truth. I know that they're real. I need the details. I'd like someone to fill in the blanks, and so I think we're getting there, where eventually it's going to be undeniable that there is somebody visiting this planet, or many somebodies. And I think one thing at a time, I guess. Once we get the ETs established, maybe they'll move on to other things like Bigfoot, and and you got all these different places that have these local creatures. Like we have the lizard man here in South Carolina, and I think these things are real. Where they come from, I don't know, but real. Do you think that there could be some of these claims of military experimentation or attempts? Has the military attempted to capture Sasquatch? Has there, you would think if...
Well, I think they have. I think absolutely they have. And I think they're still trying. Maybe they have captured them. We don't know. There's just stories. People that have been in military have leaked stories, but how much is true? We don't know. We just don't know. But I have different theories about reptilians, too. I think there's a species of a reptilian. It was a dinosaur that took millions of years that evolved into a very intelligent being with a opposable thumb and, walks upright and very intelligent over millions of years. They survived the catastrophic event 65 million years ago to become this incredible being that lives underneath our planet in caves and underground tunnels. I think there's different reptilians, but these I've written about, and I kind of mention it in my book, Sasquatch Lives. I kind of go into it because of what this reptilian woman came to this man in 1999 and 2000 and Sweden, and told him about her people and how they live and how they evolved and how we evolved and how somewhere along the line they took a gorilla or great ape and how they bioengineered humans, and I guess they were the only ones that weren't bioengineered on this planet. I think Sasquatch was. I think we were. But our evolution was because of maybe different species of ETs that came along and engineered our DNA. So
yeah, I've always thought... Go ahead. We are... I cut you off there. We are what?
Well, I think, we are genetically altered. And, that's... I think a lot of the things that we had maybe eons ago, we had special telepathy. We had these are things that we all used to have, but we've lost all that. And they say that with what they put in our brains or whatever, that they can alter our brains so they can walk among us, and we think they look entirely like humans, even though they look like reptilians. Not horrible-looking reptilians, but they do look reptilian. So we could pass it. They could be your neighbor. Who knows?
Well, I believe that too. I think and what I seen it on. Here we go. I seen it on an episode once of X-Files, where the sun he had ET in him, and he was able to walk past people and make people see what he wanted them to see. So if he walked by him and he wanted to see, Betsey Lewis, well, then it would look like Betsey Lewis just walked by me, and that's how, I wouldn't think twice about it. And I think they have that ability to do that. It would explain how they can get around and nobody, is able to, notice them.
Yeah, shape shifting. And I think that's, what's going on at Skinwalker Ranch. Deep underneath it, there's a base of reptilians, and they don't want Skinwalker getting in their way. They keep messing with things over there, and they poked a hornet's nest all the time with that, what they call a portal above the triangle area. So there's something major going on there. My husband and I went out there. Of course, we couldn't get in. We were just on the outskirts of it. And we just wanted to check it out. It was a really windy, cold day, near Vernal, Utah. And we found the entranceway, but of course they have a recording. Don't come any closer, or
Really?
and arrest you or something,
Well, I would love to get on there and be able to, investigate it myself, something like that. There's something to that Skinwalker Ranch. I've got my technician and friend Surf here. He talks about the Skinwalker Ranch all the time.
There's all the things they've been doing there. Rockets have vanished. It goes up in the air, vanishes. Orbs that have appeared out of nowhere. They've seen UAPs, I like to call them UFOs still.
Yeah.
I don't know why we had to change it. But anyway, they've seen them fly out of the mesa, solid rock out of there, and fly right into the mesa. Are we seeing some kind of holographic, image that's not real? Are they real? Can they actually fly into the mesa? I don't know, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I think they start calling them UAPs because they just still to this day can't get themselves to say, yeah, you were right, UFOs are real. Well, no, those aren't UFOs, they're UAPs. So
I think you're right, Mike. I think you're absolutely right.
So you argue that confirming Sasquatch would potentially rewrite our understanding of evolution. Is that like that missing link thing we were talking about, right?
Right, yes. Well, it would do a lot of different things. It would be, it would alter our evolution, of course, if they existed. And of course, they would find out more about them, and maybe they can confirm once and for all it does have human DNA. But religion, evolution, the mining going on in these areas, they'd have to shut that down for them. They'd have to stop the logging. Maybe that's why, they don't want us to know the truth. That we have all these people out there that are trying to debunk it, and they work for the military to debunk it. Kind of like, extraterrestrial information they won't let out. Finally we're getting somewhere, but not everything. It's still a lot of redacted stuff that we haven't seen from the Pentagon.
Yeah, that's true, but I think that now we have the best chance that we've ever had of getting closer to the truth of the UFO phenomena. Everyone's been waiting for years for the red carpet to come out and president to come down that and say, hey, they're real. I've known they're real for a long time, and not because I'm special, just because I know. I mean, I felt it, and then I've seen it with my own eyes. I've never seen an ET that I know of, but I've seen the crafts, and they're real. And for years we've been conspiracy theories. All these conspiracy theories are coming true, though, now. They're not theories anymore. Like they never were to us, right? But amazing.
They never were.
So what about religion? I'm sorry.
I've had so many different, paranormal experiences since I was just a little baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. my parents and I were on a lonely road up in Idaho, northern Idaho, and they were going to visit my family, grandparents and all, in southern Idaho. It's a long drive. It's about an 8-hour drive. My father always knew what time they'd get in. And I was in the back seat in a bassinet or something, or a basket or something, about 6 months old. And all of a sudden they hear this roar that came out of nowhere. And it was shaking the car like a giant hand. And they thought a plane was going to crash on them. The next thing they remember, my father was out of the car. My mother was out. They're looking up in the sky. All they see is stars up there. There's nothing there to explain it. But then my uncle, years later, said, "Did they tell you the story?" And I said, "Yeah, they told me." He said, "Did they tell you that they were missing 2 hours and they couldn't explain what happened?" I said, "No." He said, "Yeah, we thought they were in a car accident. We were worried, you know."
Yeah.
So that was my first experience, and it got worse through the years, or better, I don't know. In some cases better, but.
You know, I remember when I was a teenager, friends of mine and I, we'd go into the gorge, the Genesee River Gorge, and you know, we'd go down there and party a little bit and have a bonfire. And in the middle of the night, we would hear it sounded like women screaming. You know, we'd hear it in the trees, you know, just loud screams, and it used to be haunting, really. And now, now knowing what I know, I wonder if it was the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you had a Sasquatch Bigfoot experience. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we used to hear it, and I mean, I honestly I thought that somebody was playing games, or there was somebody was in trouble somewhere down there. But it would happen so often that we just got to where we'd ignore it. But
wow.
What? I guess how much would it impact religion if it was brought out? We always ask this about the ETs. Or what about the Sasquatch?
Well, it's like ETs, and people, it's the devil's work,
Yeah.
Let's get beyond that. This is the 21st century. It's not the Dark Ages. Come on, human up, everybody. It drives me nuts, that people are so. I don't know. They just don't want to learn anything new. They're afraid of it. That someone could be out there. There could be all these different creatures that don't look like us. They evolved differently on different places. They're totally different, and they're probably millions of years ahead of us. And they have incredible different technology that we haven't even thought of yet. Like holographic things that they can produce. Supposedly they can produce holographs, 3D dimensional experiences that look totally real. You can feel them, touch them, and we're working on that now with holographic images. We see it used sometimes, like Elvis returning or something on stage, but I think they're working on it, and I think they, eventually we're going to come to that where we can create 3D images that are so real that you can reach out to them. Sorry, my voice is getting a little hard.
That's okay. It happens to me too. So, I believe there's a state that actually has Bigfoot on the endangered species, protection species, right? A protected species.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I forget where it is, but I remember.
I'm not sure. I think it's Oregon, maybe I think it's some place in Washington, part of Washington.
Yeah. So
endangered species.
Which I find that very interesting that they would go out and do something like that. I mean, that kind of, that kind of confirms it a little bit. I mean, or certainly a good argument towards it. Do you believe that government agencies already know more about Sasquatch than they're telling us? You wonder why would they keep it secret unless there's something they don't want us to have, technology or something. I mean, they don't.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. No, and it says that if there would be, they classify the species and likely force an emergency halting of logging, mining, development in millions of acres of wilderness, so that would stop that. They'd be protected. Um, there would be certain areas, industries like timber and oil would be faced with immediate sweeping injunctions. National forests would be federally protected areas. Can you imagine what it would do?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I
and
know.
that's just some of the things that would happen. I think I had two experiences, but one was really, you know, two of them were pretty, and I didn't really think much about it, but now that I do, and learning all this, I think I had some pretty weird experiences in central Idaho while hiking and looking for petroglyphs and hot springs. I was with a friend. Should I tell you, do we have time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, one of them, we had gone in and hiked into this area, Garden Valley. It's a wooded area. There's a river running through there. It's a beautiful area up above Boise. And it was getting kind of late. We hiked into this hot springs, and it was just beautiful. We had spent most of the afternoon there, had sandwiches and stuff. And then we came back, and we decided that we'd just get in the back of the SUV and get in our sleeping bags. So we drove around there, and all the camping sites were taken. There was no place to park. And finally we found this place. It was we just kind of backed into it. And I noticed that there were all these fallen trees in back of us and all this brush. So we knew that no one could get back there and bother us. And it was, I don't know what time it was, but I woke up and I heard this garbled language, something walking quickly past the SUV, and I couldn't move. I felt like I was paralyzed, and that's something people say, that they feel paralyzed sometimes with Sasquatch. And my boyfriend at the time couldn't move either.
Oh, man.
And finally, we were able to get up. I sat up, and I turned around to look to see if somebody had a flashlight or something. It was running through the bushes and everything. There was nobody. I mean, there was nobody. There was no flashlight. It was so dark out there, you couldn't see anything. Somebody had to have had a flashlight. So I think it was Bigfoot. And, you know, they talk about the garbled language, you know, sounding like samurai talk. And I think that's what I heard. And then the other experience, we were camping out. We didn't get into a tent or anything. We were just out there, and it was kind of a hillside up by the Salmon River, and we had seen petroglyphs and everything. It was just a great day. And the next morning, I hear what sounded like buffalo or elk or something charging down to. It was so scary, I couldn't believe it. It was just this crashing noise. And all of a sudden, I see these huge trees falling down towards us. And they missed us totally. I don't know how, but I thought, you know, these were small trees. Something big had to push them over. And I went, oh, I bet it was Sasquatch.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, it was scary.
So, what would you like to see happen next in Sasquatch research? Where do you think we should go next?
Well, I think if you want to go out there, you know, be kind, be respectful, bring some apples. They're supposed to love apples. They love soft music. People are supposed to maybe sing to them, or, you know, just any kind of spiritual music. I've heard they love that too. So go in and don't go alone. I think it's better to go with someone if you're going to go out there and try and see a Sasquatch. But just be respectful. You know, they can read your mind. They know what you're thinking. You know, if you're out there and you're going to be Elmer Fudd and try and shoot them, they're not going to like you very much, you know?
Yeah, you know, people get me. Like, I was watching something on, I don't know what, TV the other night, some true crime thing. And they had a commercial on, you know, and they show as UFOs and cowboys or something like that. Some guy, and the guy's got a gun and he's shooting. Get it, Pops, get it, Pops. You know, and he's shooting. I'm like, what is the matter with you? I mean, all you're going to do, if anything, is tick them off. You know,
I know.
just doesn't seem like a good idea. So people come from thousands of light years away to visit you, and you're shooting at them. They can stop nuclear weapons, and you're shooting at them.
What's wrong with humans? That's one thing. I spent a lot of time with Native Americans in the Northwest and going to powwows and sweat lodges, and they bless everything and they teach it. It's kind of like the Buddhists. They honor everything, that everything has a consciousness in this world, and I believe that too. Everything, even rocks, have a consciousness, and we just don't see that. Trees, they're living, breathing things, and we've got to love and respect and honor everything. We just want to go out there and destroy it. Humans like to destroy things. And we've got to learn to stop the insanity.
Oh, I know. I think that's so part of me feels like we've been put on a prison planet, and they've made sure we can't get off of it and go anywhere. I mean, we've got radiation belts. Our human bodies really can't go far out there. You're not getting anywhere. It takes so long to get somewhere, and we spend more time building weapons than we do. Like if this was Gilligan's Island, we're never getting off the island because, we're always trying to create a bomb instead of a good boat. So Betsey, after everything you've researched and everything you've heard from witnesses, if you had to say, what do you believe wholeheartedly that Sasquatch actually is? Is it a being from somewhere else? Is it interdimensional? What would you, if you had to answer that tonight, what would you say Bigfoot is?
What would I say? Well, I think it has supernatural abilities, and I think there are star elders that help them and protect them, that guard them. People have seen these orbs around them, and I think that's some kind of, sentient being that surrounds them and protects them. And I think that's part of it. I think they are spiritual beings, and I think that's, we've got to learn to love them too, that they're real. So, protect the forest. I think they're part of the forest. They can, with trees and everything, people have found different things that are woven together that these beings can make. They make things. They make nests. They're just incredible beings, and we've got to learn these things. If we could learn these things again, wouldn't it be something? Telepathy? I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be good that we could read everybody's mind. There's just incredible things that we could learn again if we weren't so single-minded. Tunnel vision is what I call it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would convince a skeptic that you're right? Probably nothing but a body for some of those people, right?
Not necessarily. I dare people to go out there in my book. I say, go out there, spend a week in a hot spot. And I've listed those hot spots wherever you live. And go out there. And remember that they can read your mind. If you're there to harm them, they'll know it. If you come there in peace and want to learn from them, they'll understand that too. So go there in peace and, try and learn from them, and bring some apples,
Yeah, but
put them up high enough so a bear won't get it, but, bring something like that to them, and, you might be surprised what you'll learn. I wrote about Sunbow, who is indigenous from Canada, who has actually mind speaks to a certain elder, Sasquatch elder, who has written about what they are and who they are. And I know people are going to go, oh, that's not true. It's all made up. But I think there's a lot of truth to it. It may not all be true, but I think people should keep an open mind. And most people don't want to keep an open mind. They just don't want to learn anything new. They don't. They're so close-minded. And that, I don't know, it drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah, I've got a guy that I work with. I mean, he's a great guy. I love talking to him. But you get into this stuff, and if it's for him, if it's not in the Bible, it's just not, it's got to be in the book, or it just can't exist. And I feel bad for people like that, because you have to get outside of the box. God, that same God that you worship, gave you a mind and gave you the ability to think outside the box, use it. Do it. I mean, because this world is not cut and dry. It's not just one size fits all. It's a strange place. There's a lot of strange things that we can't explain going on. And when you think you know everything, you're just a fool, because there's so much we don't know. And Betsey, listen, I know that we only had an hour tonight, and I want to give you the floor, please, to get on anything else that you'd like, where people could get your fantastic book and anything else you got.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to be on another show this Friday, and that's with Veronica and Codebreakers. She's got a great show. I'm going to be on there probably just a little bit longer, not much, but it will be video. And check that out. It's on my website, BetseyLewis.com, and it's BetseyLewis. Check out my books. I've got a lot of books. Abducted, about portals, and all kinds of different stories about different ETs, the blue ETs, the reptilians, and all my theories. And so check them out. I think you might learn something.
All right. Well, Betsey, as always, I appreciate your time and your work and your determination. Thank you.
Well, Mike, you're great, too. I know you've had the experiences, and I really appreciate you and your show.
You as well. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay safe.
You too. Take care.
All right. You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye. All right, folks. There she goes. Betsey Lewis. Proof that Bigfoot and humans share the same DNA. I would suggest getting the book. Betsey's done a lot of work over the years with the UFO phenomena, Bigfoot, you name it. She gets into it all. No fear there. So, folks, I want to take a break. And when I come back, I got a little bit more for you. All right? So hang out with me. It's Monday night. This is Late Night in the Midlands. And we're coming at you live from the VARA Radio Network. My guest tonight is linked up over on the website, MikeVara.com, a website that needs your help, folks. Make sure you hit that donate button, or I don't know, we're going to end up going through that portal ourselves come tomorrow, all right? So we'll be back. Don't go away. Again, Late Night in the Midlands on a Monday night.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
I'm Art Bell, and you're listening to Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara.
Tune in to Late Night in the Midlands with host Mike Vara, Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on the VARA network.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Use promo code LNM for a free month of service and help support this radio station while giving yourself some of the best service you can ask for.
Start your day with Late Night in the Midlands Coffee. Small batch roasted in the USA for bold, fresh flavor. Choose from smooth decaf, rich radio blend with notes of dark chocolate and caramel, or bright Columbia single origin with citrus and melon tones. Available whole bean or ground in 12-ounce bags. Order now at micavara.com. Late Night in the Midlands Coffee. Every sip has a story. Start your day with Late Night in the Midlands Coffee. Small batch roasted in the USA for bold, fresh flavor. Choose from smooth decaf, rich radio blend with notes of dark chocolate and caramel, or bright Columbia single origin with citrus and melon tones. Available whole bean or ground in 12-ounce bags. Order now at micavara.com. Late Night in the Midlands Coffee. Every sip has a story.
The search is over. You found us.
You're listening to the VAR. You're listening to the VARA network.
When the daylight fades away and the stars begin to shine, the questions come alive again.
From the capital city, Columbia, South Carolina, on the east coast of these United States, you're tuned in to Late Night in the Midlands with your host, Mike Vara. To ask a question to Mike, just send your questions through the Late Night portal located on our homepage at www.mikevara.com.
Every mystery demands our love. Open up your mind tonight. Leave your doubts behind. Sometimes truth is stranger than anything you'll find. Open up the midnight files. Turn another page. Every call another mystery. Every voice another stage. Crop circles, ghost lights, messages in the sky. Late night in the Midlands, where the questions never die.
All right, Monday night. Yeah, the questions never die. This is Late Night in the Midlands, the one, the only. Man, we've been going for a while, folks. I can't believe it. I can't believe a lot of things. Well, actually, these days I can believe a lot of things. The website, MikeVara.com. I'd like to keep it that way, too. If you have it within your means, by all means, hit that donate button, folks. I'm serious. We're in desperate need here, or we're not gonna have a storefront, as we say. Hey, listen, I've got a good lineup here for the rest of the week, too. Robert McGinnis, that's Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, joins me on Wednesday. He is the guest that I talk about all the time, who told me about the Terminator robots. Well, he's coming back. It's been a while. He's been on Fox News. I mean, he's been in the Pentagon. He's a lieutenant colonel. He should know these things. So, really interesting. We'll be talking to him, not quite about Terminator robots, but talking to him nevertheless. A little bit about what he thinks about this Iranian war and some other things. Friday. Friday is going to be a really good one. Noah's Ark, folks. Those folks who feel like they have discovered Noah's Ark. And I'll tell you what, I've been following this. It is amazing. It's on the top of the mountain in Turkey, and when you look at it from the aerial view, you can see the shape of the ship, and then it goes down. There's compartments down in the ground. I think they found it, man. I think they found it. I don't know how all them penguins and stuff got over there, and I guess if it's God's hand, anything is possible, right? Or it could be my theory of DNA, but I don't know. What do you need all them rooms for if it's just DNA? If this is really Noah's Ark. Interesting stuff, and I'm looking forward to Friday as well. We've been knocking it out of the park here with some really good guests, and we're going to continue to do that with your help, bringing you the best guests, the best information, and getting to the truth one show at a time, and exposing that truth no matter who it points to. And we like to, hey, make sure you subscribe, folks, on Rumble and YouTube. YouTube, we're trying to get I'm actually trying to get my old channel. Probably it's a lost cause, but I'm trying to get my old channel back. We had 30,000 subscribers on it. That may not seem like much to some, but it was enough. It helped with funding and all kinds of stuff, and they took it because of some stuff that I'd put out there at the time about the Hunter Biden laptop stuff. And they said, well, you're spreading false information. And so, they took the channel. Well, now it's proven it wasn't false information. So I'm thinking, do you want to be a good old chap and give back what you've taken? Falsely taken? And I'm trying. Well, we'll see. But in the meantime, trying to get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers so I could start actually trying to monetize a little bit of this, and that will help with funding, so I don't have to depend on just donations. So, and I don't have to put a price on the archives, which I don't want to do. So, folks, help us out. Hit the donate button. I appreciate it very, very much. Now, for the last, 30 or 25 minutes here, I got some more Bigfoot stuff for you that I'm going to roll. But in the meantime, I do want to close out this live segment here on this Monday and just say that, Betsey Lewis, fabulous guest. She's taken us tonight into a world where science and history and indigenous traditions, eyewitness testimony, genetics, and the unexplained, they all collided a little bit here tonight. And whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between, one thing is certain: the question of Sasquatch continues to capture our imagination, at least some of us. And if Sasquatch really is a living creature, and if the evidence eventually proves that it shares an unexpected genetic connection with humanity, the implications could be enormous. Absolutely enormous. But perhaps the most fascinating question isn't simply, is Bigfoot real? Maybe the bigger question is, what would happen to humanity if we discovered that we weren't as alone in the forest or in our own evolutionary story as we thought we were? And we're not. We've been lied to. We've been lied to about everything. And the truth will set us free. And it's starting to come out big time. And I feel a little bit freer, don't you? I do, just a little bit. Betsey Lewis, author of Sasquatch Lives, proof the Bigfoot and humans share that Bigfoot and humans share the same DNA. I want to thank you for joining us tonight on Late Night in the Midlands, and to everyone listening tonight, keep an open mind, but keep asking questions, because sometimes the most interesting mysteries aren't the ones we've already solved. Now I got about a 25-minute piece from another Bigfoot show that I had done. I'm going to run that for the last 20 minutes. I'm Mike Vara. This has been Late Night in the Midlands. And until next time, keep looking beyond the obvious and never stop questioning what you think you know. Keep your eyes posted to the sky because you never know what you might see. And keep your ears posted to this broadcast because you never know what you might learn. So before we say goodnight, let me just say goodnight and enjoy the rest of the show. Feeling there. I mean, could there be? I guess there could be a connection, but do you think there's any connection? Because I've had folks who have said that there's been, Bigfoot sightings the same time there was UFO sightings. I mean, like both of them, and present. And if that's the case, I would have to wonder.
It's absolutely the case. I'm writing a book now called Where the Footprints End. I'm co-authoring it with Joshua Cutchin. And we are specifically tackling all these very, very strange aspects of the Bigfoot phenomenon. And one of them is this UFO problem. And a lot of people that call themselves cryptozoologists, which is often a title they give themselves without any schooling or education, will tell you that, it's very rare. It's very rare that Bigfoot's seen with UFOs. It's absolutely not rare. I've documented hundreds and hundreds of cases from, across time, from very, very early on, and before we even called them UFOs. They'll talk about, meteors in the sky at the same time as seeing these creatures and so forth, to, modern reports. And across the country and across the world, really, there's been, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that these creatures are stepping out of UFOs, that they're piloting UFOs, that they're the pets of aliens, but there are many, many times where they're seen around the same time, around the same place. UFOs and Bigfoot are seen together.
Well, and the people talk about how TV, sometimes they sneak the truth in there on you. And so maybe it's no coincidence that Chewbacca, was riding on that ship with Han Solo. That's maybe.
I heard someone say that George Lucas I guess he was living in Northern California when he was writing those movies and so forth. And somebody said, what did he see in the woods to make Chewbacca up? I thought that was kind of fun.
Well, yeah, because that would be your typical Bigfoot right there. I mean, that's minus the glowing eyes.
Right. Yeah, sure.
And intelligent. I mean, he's not stupid. Now, we got a couple people in the chat here. Let's see here. Jen says, she says we have them here in Wisconsin, and she believes they're interdimensional beings, and they could be.
They absolutely could be. I mean, so that it's a possibility. I've heard people point to quantum physics as a possible explanation for how they can sort of appear to disappear and reappear using this quantum physics and so forth. Like I said, they're all valuable, ideas, but they're only ideas until we can prove it. So that's why you won't hear me say, specifically, I think they're interdimensional or not. They absolutely could be. I'll admit that, but I can't say for sure what they are.
Right, and we got JH is in the chat now. She loves the Bigfoot topic. I mean, I think she follows everybody who researches Bigfoot, and she says that Bigfoots have been seen getting out of UFOs and even piloting UFOs.
True.
And she says Bigfoot has been seen disappearing in the middle of a field, poof, in a flash of light. That's amazing.
Yeah, there's reports of them walking across a road, or being seen on one side of the road, rather, disappearing and reappearing on the other side of the road. There is a lot of weirdness that goes along with this. People have seen half Bigfoot. They've seen just the pair of legs walking down the road. There's a lot of bizarre stuff that accompanies the phenomenon.
Wow. Half a Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's absolutely bizarre. I mean, absolutely bizarre stuff.
That is bizarre, and so maybe they use these things to come and investigate here, and they say, I don't know, it's amazing. To this day, I know nobody's actually come up with one. I know there's a guy who hoaxed it once, and he got a bunch of animals, chopped them up, and froze them, and actually sold a couple guys the body, and it turned out to be a big hoax.
Yeah.
He took someone, I don't forget how much it was, might have been $30,000 or more. But and it's too bad people do that. Now, there was a guy who was on Art Bell's show years ago, and this guy claimed that he had shot one, and he buried it. And now he had told Art Bell where he buried it. But, of course, Art Bell, I think, has taken that secret to his grave with him. And, me personally, if you tell me you shot a Bigfoot and you tell me where it is, I'm going to investigate.
That fellow, by the way, somebody discovered who he was. He was another, I think he was a DJ from Texas, and they were able to identify him from his voice. And but he didn't go back on his story. He claimed that he did shoot him, but he also claimed, like all these other stories where people claim to shoot him, that somebody came and collected the body.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's possible. I've heard about these men in black, and if they just show up. They've never been at my door, thank God. But then I don't have a Bigfoot in the basement either.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. A lot of this evidence goes. People who even claim to have DNA evidence, blood of some sort, or hair. Hair samples go missing all the time. There's a woman who was doing a hair sample analysis in Canada, and she had several hair samples just never show up. People would mail them, they never show up. Stan Gordon's an investigator from Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
And he has an example in one of his books of multiple samples going missing in the mail that were sent to him, and finally someone had to hand deliver it to him.
Yeah, and that's something else I don't trust. Like some people, they'll send a sample to get tested somewhere, or they'll bring it in to get tested. And, if they find out, you might not get the same sample back. You might, they could, pull fast ones on you, and they could lie to you. Like some claim that, they'll lie to you about the results. Tell you, no, it's just bear hair, or it's this hair, when they know damn well it's something else. But how do you prove it? So
yeah, and I think a lot of people, a lot of labs and stuff, they aren't prepared for coming back with a result that's unknown, or even something completely bizarre. I talked to a police officer one time, and I asked him why I know you guys get reports of this stuff, why don't they, because I know several local reports that were changed to either a bear or a cow or something when people saw a Bigfoot. And this police officer explained it very plainly to me. He said, this is my career. He said, if I start writing down that people saw Bigfoot on crime reports, he says, how far do you think I'm going to go in my career? And I said, and it immediately made sense to me. I was, oh, okay, I get it now. He said, yeah, it's much, if I just write it was a cow or it was a bear, then things are going to go a lot smoother for me in my career.
Well, yeah, because he's going to come into work one afternoon, and there's going to be styrofoam Bigfoot underneath his desk or something, So it's just like the UFOs. Now, there have been some police who have come out. I've heard the scanner transmissions where they're following these things around and report, but you don't get much. You don't get far from that. It kind of, after that, I think someone tells them you better forget about it.
I think that's the case.
It's not going to help your career any.
Yep.
So, all right, well, listen, let's take this break here quickly, and then we'll come back, Timothy, and we'll do this some more. We'll get some questions from listeners as we move along, too, and I've certainly got several more questions that I'd like to ask. So please hang on, and we'll come back after the break, and we'll talk some more about this, forest creature, this Bigfoot. What'd she call him? The forest something. She had a name for him. It was anyways, he's got a lot of names. So they used to call him the Wild Man. He's Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Maybe folks, maybe they share the same. I don't know. It's kind of weird to say, but maybe that's why it comes back as, unfounded or something. Maybe they share our DNA or so. I said that with the ET stuff. They send a sample and they say, oh, no, it's human DNA. Well, maybe it is. That doesn't mean it's still not an alien. Doesn't mean it's still not Bigfoot. I don't know. It's just a thought. You can go so many places with this stuff because you can't prove it. You can't prove who he is, where he's coming from. But one thing we can prove is that people see him. And, in a court of law, if 5 people come up and said, hey, I saw Michael Vara kick that door in, well, guess what? Michael Vara is off to jail. But, when 5 people come forward and say, yeah, Bigfoot came up and banged on my car or yelled in my window, or, it's right away the white coats come. Anyways, maybe you can avoid Bigfoot by maybe taking the long way home. That might be one way to do it. Listen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll try not to take the long way either. We'll come back. We'll talk about this some more. I'm Michael Vara, and it's Late Night in the Midlands. Yes, forest people. Thank you. I want to tell you all about up-and-coming research related to one man's quest to show the proof of God's existence hidden in our government's records, proof they are monitoring people having religious experiences, records of images in different spectrums of light. This up-and-coming research is from author Jose Collazo, and he has released 2 books titled America's New Slavery, fMRI Technology, and America's New Slavery, Behind the Scenes and Updates. You see, Jose Collazo sets out to prove God does exist and that our government has records on God's existence. He has researched USGS records showing an increase in earthquakes and nuclear testing. He presents U.S. patent records, further proving fMRI technology, 660 patents to date on the ability to read a person's thoughts. He's also dug up U.S. patents filed on weather modification and subliminal messages sent to the brain on a secondary frequency behind a main broadcast. This is all in Jose Collazo's research and upcoming research. He is Jose Collazo, and he can be found on Amazon.com. WCET.FM offers a great chat room where you can chat during the shows with other like-minded people. Just go to www.latenightinthemidlands.com and click the Chat and Listen tab up at the top of the website. Once there, click the Discord link and sign up now. It's totally free and all are welcome. WCET.FM, your talk station.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
It's the middle of the night and there's nothing much to do. Bring your insomniac self over to Late Night in the Midlands and learn something. We've got every topic you can think of and very little being off limits. Alien abductions, government corruptions, the stuff that's got your sleep disrupted. Come join the conversation tales and tune into Late Night in the Midlands with your host, Michael Vara.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You're listening to WCT.FM, talk radio like no other.
Listen to Dinner with the Klings with your hosts, Maggie Hart and Peter Kling, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on WCET FM. Listen to Angel Strong and Bare Knuckles right here on WCET FM.
You can listen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through the Paranormal Radio app. Available from lnmradionetwork.com or talkstreamlive.com on both Android and Apple. Our call to listen line is open 24/7. Dial 701-719-9704 so you can listen on the go. Become a late nighter and subscribe now. LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Exposing the truth, one show at a time. Join us in the LNM chat and get your question directly
at their size. They could certainly just walk through the wall if they wanted to come in and get you. Certainly a window screen isn't going to stop them.
Yeah.
And most of the reports by far, they'll stay outside. They'll stay outside of people's tents. It's almost like they respect that barrier in some way. They could certainly just pick up the tent with the people in it if they wanted to add them, but they'll push on the side of the tent sometimes. They'll walk around the tent, but there's not many stories of them like sort of ripping through the tent fabric, which obviously they could easily do, or like I said, like tearing through a window screen. You know, people see them right outside their window, and they'll just either tap on the window or scrape on the screen or something like that, which is an absolutely horrifying concept to me to look over and see that. But like I said, I don't think a wall would stop them, much less a little window screen. So they tend to respect that border. I don't know why. I do have a couple cases of that appear to be connected, missing people and so forth.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd love to hear them. And I'd just say, maybe Bigfoot, with all the home cameras too. I mean, that's another thing. Maybe if he knows if he goes in the house, someone's going to catch him on their security camera. But anyways, go right ahead. Fill us in. Sure.
So this is from the Bradford era, from Bradford, Pennsylvania. It's July 21st, 1888. And it says, lost or kidnapped, the mysterious disappearance of little Florence Hughes. Friday forenoon, Florence Hughes, the 2-year-old daughter of John Hughes, an employee of the Bradford Oil Company, who lives on the Rutherford farm, was playing in that vicinity with 2 other children. The little one's playmates left her alone while they were seeking flowers in a clump of underbrush nearby, and when they returned, she was gone. Mr. and Mrs. Hughes were immediately notified and instituted a rigorous search, but could find no trace of the missing one. All day long, the fruitless search was kept up. In the evening, a crowd started out from the city, swelling the number in the searching party to over 100. Every nook and spot in the woods and fields within a radius of 1 mile was examined closely, but without success. The lost babe could not be found. The The parents are nearly distracted and have kept the keen sympathy of many friends in their trouble. It is believed the child has been kidnapped and stolen away. The Era contained an account of a supposed wild being a few days ago who had been seen in the locality of late, and is now feared the loathsome wretch has spirited the child away to his lair in the hills. Major Adsit of the Bradford Oil Company ordered the men employed under his direction to prosecute the search until a clue is found somewhere. These, together with a large band of volunteer searchers, spent the night diligently seeking for the missing child. At a late hour, nothing had been heard from the missing one. Florence is a handsome child. She wore Friday a check gingham sailor suit. She has long brown curly hair, a round face, brown eyes, and rosy cheeks, and is stoutly built. Any information concerning her whereabouts will be joyfully received by the distracted parents. Then it goes on to follow up. No trace of the little one. Rutherford, Pennsylvania, July 20th. Florence, the little 2-year-old child of John Hughes, who has been missing from home since 10 o'clock this morning, has not been found, although there were at least 200 men and boys with torches and lanterns scouring the woods all through the evening. So far, the search has been fruitless. It is thought that she may have been carried away by the wild man, who has been seen by several in this locality recently. The parents are nearly frantic and earnestly request assistance to continue the search tomorrow morning. All who will kindly assist will please meet at J.T. Jones Boiler House, Rutherford Farm, 8 p.m. sharp. And then it continues, the search abandoned. A party consisting of J.P. Taylor, Thomas Mills, and 2 members of the air staff visited Rutherford District at 2 o'clock this morning and learned that no trace had been found of the lost child. A heavy fog hung over the woods, and the search was abandoned until daylight. So that's a missing girl in an area where a wild man had been reported. The happy news is that we found with further research that she was found. The girl was found a couple days later, and she was okay. So that one, but that does remind me of these reports we've had recently of these kids going missing, and then they turn up, these toddlers, you know?
Yeah, and you wonder how the heck did they make it in the woods for all them days, and it was cold, freezing cold, one of them. And I think the kid told the story about, didn't he say that some creature kept him safe? I think he said a bear. But
I think, his friend the bear. Yeah. So, and these kids are often, either too young to speak or young enough where, you wonder if these stories they're making up, I'm not saying they're making up, but if these stories they're telling are what they really were seeing, or if they were interpreting it, was he interpreting something else as a bear, or was it seems unlikely that a bear would take care of a child.
No, I think the bear would actually eat it. I'd be more apt to believe a gorilla would take care of the child over a bear, but obviously no gorillas in the vicinity there. So guess what? Probably our friend Bigfoot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it makes me wonder for sure. Again, we can't prove it, but it sounds like a possibility.
I wonder have these children? I never followed up with that story we were just talking about, but I wonder if they ever gave a description of where were they, what was being done for them. I mean, were they taken into some cave, or how did they stay warm?
I really wanted some follow-ups with that kid. Did they ask him, were you inside with this bear? Because I mean, it really could have been a creepy dude in a bear costume too, and you'd want to know, if he took the kid somewhere, you'd want some details, right?
Well, right, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that one back up, see if anything else has come up with it. But you'd want. It's just like if a kid says, "There's, I saw a ghost." Well, okay, let's sit down. I want to hear about it. But
yeah, exactly.
Anyways, but people are so quick to just wave it off and say, "Oh yeah, well, he got lucky. There's a bear that took care of him." Well, think about that for a minute. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think probably the parents are so happy that it turned out to be a happy ending to that story that perhaps they don't want to ask too many more questions.
Yeah, right. Or maybe they just think it's the kid's imagination. It's like, oh, it's a good thing he had his imaginary friend there to keep him through it. It's like,
yeah.
Well, his imaginary friend has a lot of hair on his body, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would have a million follow-up questions for that kid if I was allowed to ask them. Certainly I wouldn't intrude on that family's privacy.
Yeah. All right. Well. Now, what about modern witnesses like today? Do you find, because you've looked into historic cases, Do you find that the reporting is different from than it was then, or are you finding that the reports kind of coincide with one another even still today?
A lot of the behaviors people report are very similar. For instance, there seems to be what I call a kind of a culture of revenge amongst these creatures. In other words, if you shoot it or shoot at it, take shots at it, or hurt it in some way, it may, in fact, follow you home, and then you're going to have trouble around your house afterwards. This is reported several times. They seem to recognize what guns are, even in the old reports. If somebody points a gun at it, it seems to recognize it, and often that's when they'll get very aggressive. When they have a gun pointed at them, they seem to recognize that a gun means danger, at least. Maybe they don't know what they are, but maybe they know it enough to know that they're dangerous. And dogs, for instance, they seem to dislike dogs, and dogs them as well. Dogs are terrified of them. This is consistent throughout reports. There is some change in the reports. Some of the old reports will have them partially clothed, and I've often wondered if that's like the Victorian modesty. When they're writing, maybe it was too scandalous to have a naked wild man running around in the woods, so either the editor or the reporter decided to throw some clothes on him.
Be able to go to bed in peace and comfort. That's my goal. But with that, folks, listen, I do want to thank each and every one of you, wherever it is you may be around the globe, in the chat room, on another planet, you might be, or on the other side. If you are on the other side, give me a shout out if you can. But, thank you to all of you. I want to thank the moderators. These are the people who don't get a lot of attention usually. And you know what? They do really good work because they make sure for those of you who do want to come into that chat room that it's kept, orderly. And I appreciate that. Now, with that, I should also...